Batting sixth at shortstop, number 10, Marco Scudero. Batting seventh, left field, number 13, Carl Crawford. Batting eighth, catcher, number 39, Terry Sofalagia. Left-hander, number 31, John Lester. Batting first, the shortstop, number 5, Batting second, left fielder, number 46, Eric Faye.
some of the real stars of the game. Albert Pujols in 2001, Frank Coeur in 2005. Laurie this year, extra base hits. Pujols and Laurie with 19, Frank Coeur with 21. 10 home runs for Pujols and Frank Coeur, 8 for Brett Laurie. 8 with Brett Laurie. He's the fastest Blue Jay to reach 8 home runs in his career. He's off to a great start.
And the walk-off home run was a special thing for him, circling the bases, and you know the energy. But that was the second time that has happened in Blue Jays history. The other time, folks, that a Blue Jay hitter had a walk-off home run in extra innings of a 0-0 game, it's my broadcast partner back in 1985. Buck Martinez, how did that feel, buddy?
That was great. It was a beautiful start to the ball game, and look at the difference in the reception at home plate. That's the big thing. It wasn't a big deal. It was a 2-0 game against Detroit.
Well, first of all, was it the silent treatment they gave you around home plate? Where was your high-fiving everybody in the leap that we saw last night from Brett Laurie?
You know that I couldn't get up in the air like Laurie did, that's for sure.
Special.
Tim Bogar, the third base coach, congratulating Laurie for a good start to his career. Take a look at Terry Francona's lineup tonight. Ellsbury, Pedroia, Gonzalez, top of the order. Kevin Youquist moves up into the cleanup spot. With the left-hander Perez on the mound, Ortiz drops into the 5-hole. Scudero, Crawford, and Jared Saltalamacchia, the switch-hitting catcher. Last night it was the captain, Jason Varitek, and in right field, Darnell McDonald makes the start for Boston.
Tonight's starting pitcher is brought to you by Icy Hot. Pain is no match for the Icy Hot patch. Luis Perez heads to the mound for his 4th start of the season. Perez made 29 appearances out of the bullpen for the Jays this year. When they needed a starter, Perez has done a nice job filling in and picked up a no decision in his last start versus Baltimore. He wasn't as sharp as we have seen him this year. He gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. Out of his 29 appearances out of the bullpen, 6 of them have come against the Red Sox, so they are very familiar with him.
So we are set for play. Blue Jays, game 2 of a 4-game series with the Boston Red Sox. Jacoby Ellsbury takes the first pitch strike, and we are underway.
And if it's anything like last night, Luis Perez following up Henderson Alvarez, it's going to be a lot of strikes. Those two have shown that they can throw strikes very early in the count.
Breaking ball inside. It's a ball on the strike. Perez making his 4th start. Henderson Alvarez was great last night. He has now run his consecutive innings scoreless streak to 14. Bounced foul. Perez, we mentioned his last start against Baltimore, and there were a couple of guys that really gave him problems in the lineup. Vladdy Guerrero and Matt Wieters. They both doubled in the 2nd inning. That led to the first run of the ball game against Perez. And then they both homered in the 4th inning, both hitting 1-out solo home runs.
The only problem he had in the game was the middle of the lineup, like you said, and the ball started leaking up. The longer he went into the game, the ball started getting up in the strike zone, and that's when he had his problems.
Eventually would be taken out of the game in the 6th inning. Back-to-back walks to Markakis and Jones, and then Guerrero hit a 2-run double. Matt Wieters walked, and that was the end of the night for Luis Perez. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, looks like Perez has good movement on his fastball. That's the one thing the Red Sox were so complimentary about Henderson Alvarez, was the dramatic movement with his fastball.
They were commenting about that after the game, that he came in and he attacked the strike zone, but more than just throwing the pitch in the strike zone, the movement, the late movement, the sinker. And we don't think he had a good one last night.
There's a base hit to left. Ellsbury can run. He's around first. The ball hits off the wall, and Ellsbury will stop at second with a leadoff double. His 38th double of the season gets things started for the Red Sox.
Left-handers don't bother Ellsbury. He stays right in that. Tracks it just a little bit longer with 2 strikes. Lets it get deep, and that's why he hits the ball the other way. And once it gets into the outfield, that's extra bases with his great speed.
With that hit, Ellsbury has extended his current hit streak to 11 games. Second baseman Dustin Pedroia shortens up to bunt and takes it up and away for a ball. Pedroia's once again having another fine offensive season, hitting over 300. He's driven in 77 runs, and he can literally hit anywhere in the lineup for Terry Francona. Drives this ball to right, but foul. Pedroia was 0 for 5 in the game yesterday, and you can see by his approach early on, he's trying to advance Ellsbury at least from second to third.
Jump ahead. If you can jump ahead, good things will happen. When the Red Sox score first, they are 55-18, giving Gonzalez a chance to drive a runner in. So Pedroia, you're right, he can hit anywhere in the lineup. He handles the bat. He's got some power. He can hit in the middle if they need to. He's got a good eye. He can hit leadoff if they need to. But he's perfectly situated right here in the number 2 spot.
One thing that was so effective shutting down the Red Sox, and not only did Alvarez do it, but the bullpen did it very well, as they pitched ahead. And they kept the Red Sox out of this patient approach. They challenged the Boston hitters to swing early.
Henderson Alvarez faced 22 batters yesterday. 14 of them he got first pitch strikes. And that really puts you in a defensive mode when you jump ahead like that as a hitter. He knows it. Keeps everybody on their toes.
The Red Sox always working opposing pitchers for base on balls. Last night in the game, there were only 4 walks issued. One of those was intentional. But they always make you work, get a lot of base runners on, and then when they do get some hits, chances are it's going to score a run. Full count. It's the first time Perez has started against Boston. He's made 6 relief appearances. In fact, made his major league debut against the Red Sox at Fenway Park.
His numbers against the Red Sox are not very good because he plays right into their hands of being very patient. He has thrown 8 1/3 innings against them, and he's given up 11 hits.
Strikes out Pedroia.
1 down now for Perez as he strikes out Dustin Pedroia. The defense for the Blue Jays is tonight. Eric Thames, Mike McCoy back in center field with Escobar back in the lineup. Bautista is the other outfielder. Kelly Johnson and Yuna Escobar together for a very good double play combination in the middle of the field. Brett Lawrie, Adam Linden on the corners, and it's good to see Escobar back in the lineup.
Escobar missed 2 games after injuring his hand on a tag play at second Saturday afternoon in New York. Adrian Gonzalez. Down and away. Gonzalez batting .339 for the season. He's in the discussion regarding the American League MVP. 2 of his teammates as well. Dustin Pedroia and Jacoby Ellsbury in that conversation, as well as Jose Bautista. Fly ball into shallow left. Thames has a long run. He's not going to get to it. Escobar got a strong arm. Flow to the plate is not in time. Jacoby Ellsbury has great speed. He had to wait, make sure that ball was on the ground safely, and the Red Sox have taken a 1-0 lead.
Ellsbury with that speed is going to be credited with the run score because of the heads-up base running and that type of speed. They play Gonzalez very deep in left field because he can drive the ball the other way, and Eric Thames just can't get to it. Now, I thought they had a chance here because the ball went to Escobar. He's got the better arm, but Ellsbury's speed just outruns the baseball. No chance as Escobar gets it. It bounces off the turf, and you can see how accurate and how strong his throw is, but you're not going to get Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury runs too well. He had to hold up right at shortstop. Kevin Youkilis batting 4th tonight. Euclid takes the first pitch down. Euclid was 0 for 4 in a game with a walk last night. Ball on the strike. Gonzalez is credited with a double on that blooper to left field. And Patch made a great point about Gonzalez. He's got so much power to the opposite field. Thames had to respect that power, and he was deep.
They moved him back about 5 steps in yesterday's game, and it really paid dividends for the Blue Jays. He made a couple of nice catches against Gonzalez on the warning track. So you have to respect the power that other way. You can't defend the whole ballpark. You know, if you're going to take away the double over your head, there's nothing you can do on that blooper down the left field line.
Gonzalez hit a line drive in the first inning that had a chance for extra bases, but because Thames was so deep, he made a running catch on the warning track. But you're right, you can't defend against the bloopers. Two and two. Euclid doesn't like that inside strike. He likes the ball out over the plate and didn't agree with the call by Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire.
They have been pounding him inside in this series, trying to get him off the plate. He does such a good job of driving in runs because he uses the whole field. And he can handle that outside pitch. He goes out there and hooks it, so the Blue Jays look like they're going to try and pound him inside.
Perez doesn't have to really give in to Euclid. He's got an open base. David Ortiz is on deck and trying to make a good pitch here. If you miss, we'll have a double play situation set up. Ortiz drops down into the 5th spot with the left-hander on the mound. Popped into the air and drifting toward the seats, and it's well back out of play.
Terry Francona last night flip-flopped these two, Kevin Euclid and David Ortiz, for only the 2nd time all season long in last night's game against the right-hander. Just trying to get something going. He said, we'll take a look at it, we'll see what happens, maybe it'll help us, maybe it won't. But he likes having them back-to-back. Now with the left-hander tonight, he has him in the cleanup spot. Euclid
way inside. Euclid will take the walk. 1st and 2nd, 1 out.
As he makes his way down to first base, let's take a look at the scouting report of Luis Perez, brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners. He has late action on his fastball. It really can surprise you with its movement. His off-speed pitches are starting to produce results. It's developing his slider and his changeup. And I think the whole key for him tonight is keep the walks down. He's had 7 in his last 2 starts. And against this ball club here, walks are a big part of what they do offensively.
Boston will really take advantage of those free bases. David Ortiz, big numbers again this year for Ortiz. 313 average. Again, Perez falls behind. Red Sox hitters are so patient, they're so experienced, they want to look at what you're going to feature on a given night, and they're always confident they can hit with 2 strikes, so they will take a lot of pitches and force you to throw it over.
They have a feel up there also. When they feel, as that ball gets away from Arancibia, when they feel like you are stressing out there, they are not going to do you any favors.
Well, that takes the Red Sox out of a possible double play situation. Arancibia backhanded that ball instead of trying to block it, and it cost him. Ball kicked off his glove and goes to the backstop.
I think he thought he could catch it, but there's such late movement on that pitch. It went straight down and handcuffed him a little bit.
2-0. Just 1 out. Red Sox have scored here in the 1st. There's a good strike right at the knees. Well, Boston's done just exactly what they wanted to do against Perez. That was his 24th pitch of the inning.
It's 2-0 on a proven run producer in David Ortiz, and he takes a strike. I mean, and that's how much confidence these hitters have.
Hits that ball into right. One run is in. Euclid is going to be stopped at third as Bautista comes up throwing. Gonzalez scores. Euclid stops at third on the Ortiz RBI single to right.
David Ortiz will drive in his 90th run of the season. It's a fastball on the inner half. He pulls his hands through. And against the Jays, this is nothing new. Only Alex Rodriguez have more RBIs in their career against the Blue Jays.
Of course, both of those players now playing in the AL East. Alex Rodriguez has been playing a long time, having a lot of success. Jason Giambi, Miguel Tejada, Jorge Posada, top five. Marco Scudero, the former Blue Jay, hit ninth in yesterday's game. Moves up to sixth here tonight.
With runners at second and third, the Blue Jays couldn't go into the shift like they usually do against David Ortiz. And what you know it, he'd pull one into right field for a hit. They had to play it straight up with a couple of runners in scoring position.
Two and 0. .27 pitches and more balls than strikes for Perez. That's a bad formula when you're working against the Red Sox.
Yeah, it's such a big key. Fall behind and they're going to make you pay. There's another proven hitter in the big leagues taking a 2-0 fastball with a runner at third. Less than 2 outs. Shows you the confidence that they have.
Well, there's a lot of balance in the order and a lot of good hitters hitting down in the order. Carl Crawford batting 7th. Green 1. 1 out. Red Sox have scored 2 here in the top of the first. Big swing and a miss from Scudero. Ortiz at first, Euclid at third. Base hit left field. Euclid comes home. It's 3-0 Red Sox. Scudero picks up the RBI.
Just his 36th RBI of the season for Scudero. He is in an RBI spot tonight, hitting behind David Ortiz. You fall behind and you've got to come in. Ball was up and just a little in. That is right in the swing plane of Marco Scudero. And that's easy pickings as he picks up the 3rd run for the Red Sox already.
On Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned Home Hardware or Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Fast start for Boston here in the first. 3 runs in already. Runners at first and second. Still just 1 out. Carl Crawford, the left fielder. And Perez is really having trouble throwing strikes. We saw a little bit of this in his last start. We'd mentioned against the Orioles. He had trouble in the 6th with back-to-back walks to start that inning, and eventually Vladdy Guerrero would come up with a 2-run double, and he would walk a 3rd batter in that inning, and then he was taken out of the game.
7 of them in his last 2 starts.
That's a fair ball just inside the bag at first. Ortiz around third. He's coming in to score. Scudero will stop at third. That's the 3rd double of the inning for Boston.
Ellsbury got the first one. Adrian Gonzalez got the second one. And now with a couple of runners on, first and second, Carl Crawford is going to join the act as he takes this off-speed pitch on the inner half. That ball was up also. And he smashes it by Lynn right down the right field line, scores 1 run. And the Red Sox still have a couple of runners on base and just 1 out.
Jared Saltalamacchia, the switch-hitting catcher, will bat right-handed. The infield has to come in with 1 out and runners at second and third. First pitch strike. Joel Carreño loosening up in a hurry. Change up downstairs. It's a ball on the strike.
That's his second best pitch, the change up from Luis Perez. A well-placed fastball with some late life, his change up, and then it's his developing slider that's coming along. Doesn't really throw a curveball yet. That's a pitch that he hasn't been able to master. But his bread and butter is that good sinking fastball. He just has to get it down here tonight.
Right back, it looked like Perez knocked it down. Looked like he got his glove up. As that ball was ripped right back to the mound.
I think this is a good idea that Aaron Sebia and Escobar are going out there to talk to their young pitcher, because that was scary. That thing coming back that quick. Watch how close this ball comes from hitting him. He looks at home and then gets the out, but Aaron Sebia goes back out there just to calm him down just a little bit.
Well, he was lucky he got his glove up, knocked it down, but the instincts looked right at home. 2 outs. Darnell McDonald bounces it to third. Lowry across the diamond, and the inning is over. But Boston puts up a 4 spot against Luis Perez on 5 hits. After missing the 2 previous games, Thames Bautista Lynn, Encarnacion Johnson, and Brett Lawrie, JP Aaron Sebia, and Mike McCoy round out the lineup, and they've got some work to do against the very tough John Lester.
This is his time of the year, and he is proving it once again. He has won his last 3 decisions and has a 150 earned run average over his last 4 starts, giving up 1 earned run in each of those. Lester needs 1 more win for his 4th straight 15-win season. He's 3-0 in 5 starts against the Blue Jays this season. He's tough when it's 0-0. He's real tough when he gets that lead early, 4-0.
Leonel Escobar makes the first pitch strike. Escobar injured his hand on a tag play at second base in the 4th inning on Saturday afternoon. Ball on the strike.
Then his wrist back in a little awkward way. That was Francisco Cervelli, who was trying to slide into second base. Watching him take batting practice today to see if there was any effects of that, and there were none.
Base hit just inside the bag. McDonald gets over quickly, and Escobar will be held to a single.
Good start for the Blue Jays as Escobar singles off of John Lester. Let's take a look at the scouting report for the big left-hander. It's a physical presence. He maintains his fastball throughout the game. He's 6'4", 245 pounds. He's carving the corners. He just tries to cut and sink to both corners of the plate against either left-handers or right-handers, and he's got that declining ERA. 4 straight starts. He has dropped his earned run average is now 9th in the AL.
Last start against the Blue Jays, he went 8 innings, held them to just 2 hits. The Red Sox put up a 14-1 win. Eric Thames takes the first pitch strike. John Lester came up with the Red Sox in 2006, and he has certainly grown every year. He has commanded both sides of the plate very effectively. Thames pops this one up. Kevin Youkilis into foul territory. John Lester's pretty good, but he also gets a lot of run support. If you're going to pitch for the Boston Red Sox, you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get a lot of run support.
Yeah, second only behind Derek Holland of the Texas Rangers in run support, but that's not why he wins so many games. He wins so many games because his stuff is outstanding. Pitching in the American League East, you have to be able to do that if you're going to be a big winner. He's got a good fastball, that good cutter. And once he learned how to command both the cutter and the sinker to both sides, that's when he really took off as a pitcher.
Jose Bautista goes after the first pitch. McDonald over into foul ground, and that ball is into the seats. Jose Bautista is 8 for 36 against John Lester, and he's got 3 home runs.
2 of them have come this year against John Lester. He also has a double. 3 hits this year against him. All 3 of his hits have been extra base hits.
That's that fastball right in on his hands. It really tied him up. And 2, 1 out. Escobar at first. Got a piece of it. Boston Red Sox trailing the New York Yankees by 2.5 games in the AL East. They have a comfortable lead in the wild card race. They're 7 ahead of Tampa Bay. Red Sox and Tampa have 6 games left head to head. Breaking ball bounced, and Escobar can't take a gamble.
You know, I don't think they're thinking about that, what you were just talking about. The 2.5 games behind New York with a 7-game lead. They've had some injury problems lately, and that's a concern, I think, for the Red Sox. Josh Beckett had to leave last night's game with the ankle injury. Clay Buchholz got to do some throwing today, some flat ground throwing in the outfield. They are not really sure if he's going to be able to come back for the playoffs.
First, they've lost the ice game at Suzaka for the season. Clay Buchholz. They're not really sure what they're going to get from Clay if he can come back. Bobby Jenks, he's probably done for the year. J.D. Drew still on disabled list with a shoulder impingement. Well, they are dinged up. Two and two. Breaking ball down and in. That back foot slider gets Bautista.
Coming out of his hand, it looks like a fastball. That's going to be a strike. It's going to be right there, but it's got late movement and it ends up in the strike zone and then out of the strike zone. Righties have had problem with that cut fastball for a long time against John Lester.
That looks like a fastball out of his hand, and with two strikes especially, you have to offer at it, and then that spin takes it down and in. Adam Lind with 2 outs. Lind just 3 for 21 against John Lester, and there's a lot of numbers like that around the American League. Lester can be dominant.
Left-handers hitting .220 against John Lester this year.
Breaking ball off the end of the bat. Euclid has a long run. Throws in time to get Lind, and the inning is over. Escobar gets the leadoff single, but Blue Jays can't do anything with it. Twitter at twitter.com/Blue Jays. Answer Blue Jay trivia to win prizes. Submit your questions on Twitter to @BlueJays, and we could choose yours as a Twitter question of the game. The Blue Jays currently have 61,000 Twitter followers. Get online. Log on to Twitter. School is back in session, and the university students are out having a good time. Blue Jays need the support right now to get back in this game. Red Sox sent 9 men to the plate in the first. Jacoby Ellsbury got it started with an opposite field double.
You mentioned that he now has an 11-game hit streak. He has now had 4 double-digit hit streaks this year. I mean, that's how consistent that Jacoby Ellsbury has been all season long.
He's a different player, different hitter, and we talked about his injuries last year. He had fractured ribs in a collision with Adrian Beltre while he was playing left field. But even when he was healthy, he had a good year 2 years ago. He's a different kind of hitter now. He's thinking more about doing some damage, looking for fastballs.
Back then, it seemed like he was just trying to slap at the ball and get on base and use his great speed. But now you're right. 24 home runs. One more home run and he'll have 25 homers and 25 steals. The first Red Sox to ever do that.
Now, he brought the dimension of speed a couple of years ago, and Certainly added power, but that's not unusual. Young guy comes into the league, starts to learn about himself, puts on a few more pounds of muscle, and now he knows the hitters, or knows the pitchers and the pitches he can look for.
You see it all the time. And that's why the scouts that can project if a guy is going to be a home run hitter when they're 18, 20 years old, those are the kind of guys that you really need to keep in your organization.
Luis Perez has had trouble with the base on balls already tonight. That's the second he's issued. That starts the second inning. Dustin Pedroia struck out his first time up. Pedroia was Perez's first big league strikeout victim. Back in April on the 16th, when Perez made his major league debut, Pedroia struck out in the 8th inning. Pedroia was taken all the way. Ellsbury made a step towards second.
That's why I think he's a good #2 hitter. He's not afraid to hit with one strike. He'll take a few if he has to, just to give Ellsbury a chance to get in the scoring position. Ellsbury has had 48 steal attempts this year.
The ball gets away from Aaron Sabia. It's the second wild pitch. And be charged to Luis Perez.
He's doubled his total in 2 innings. Came into this game with 2 wild pitches for the season. Had one in the first inning, and that's #2 right there. Got to be careful here. Pedroia leads the major leagues in hitting versus left-handed pitching.
Coming into this game, batting .377 against lefties.
A little different approach in the second inning, I think we'll see from Pedroia than we saw in the first inning, where they're under at second base and nobody out.
Yeah, with a 4-0 lead, he's thinking about driving him in right now. Slices it just outside of first. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox suffered their first 1-0 loss here in Toronto since 1988. Obviously, before the Skydome at the time opened. September 21st, 1988, Blue Jays beat them 1-0. Laurie to his feet quickly across the diamond in time. They get one. Ellsbury hustles over to third. Pedroia is retired, and Ellsbury moves up.
What a play. Pedroia is robbed of extra bases by Brett Lord. When he catches the ball, he takes a quick look at the runner, Jacoby Ellsbury. Watch how he backhands it. He looks just to see where he is and then says, okay, I better fire across the diamond. And with a runner like Ellsbury with his type of speed, he can take gambles like this, and he makes it to third base now, less than 2 out.
Boy, Laurie's got a good arm. And he doesn't necessarily throw it all out every time. That time he had to. Once they looked back at Ellsbury, he was trying to hold him at second, but Ellsbury just runs too well. We saw that in the first when he scored on that bloop to left. Base hit for Gonzalez. He'll pick up another RBI. Ellsbury comes in. It's 5-0 Red Sox. Gonzalez now with 105 ribbies.
He had been struggling over his last 8 games, 12 strikeouts over his last 8 games, but he starts this one 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, sends this one right back through the middle. Doubled his first time up, and now singles here with 1 out in the second.
Kevin Youkilis. Youkilis walked and scored in the first. This time he takes the first pitch strike. We mentioned Gonzalez with 105 RBI. How much of an advantage is it for a good hitter like this to have a lineup like he has around him now?
He's surrounded with great hitters with a lot of speed, power. Now, he still has to hit the ball. He still has to deliver, but it certainly helps when you've got the amount of men on base that Adrian Gonzalez has had this year.
When you look at Gonzalez's career when he was with San Diego, he was kind of a one-man band, not unlike what Bautista is here with the Blue Jays. But now he's got all-star hitters all around him. Youkilis drives this one to center. McCoy looking up. That's going to be off the wall. Gonzalez is headed for third. He's being waved home. Kelly Johnson to throw to the plate. Not in time, and they've got Youkilis hung up. Lowry tags out Youkilis, but the Red Sox get another run. Kevin Youkilis will be given credit for a double as Gonzalez comes in to score.
He'll also be credited with his 79th RBI. This is where Youkilis is dangerous. Down. A very good low ball hitter and golfs this ball over the head of Mike McCoy in center field. Blue Jays set up the cutoff and relay as McCoy gets it in very quickly to Kelly Johnson. Catches it on the short hop, and Aaron Sevilla concedes the run. No chance to get him, so he tries to get Youkilis, and a good rundown play by the Blue Jays to get the second out.
David Ortiz had an RBI single. It's 6-0 Red Sox.
Nobody on base now for Ortiz, and the Jays can get into their shift mode.
This ball is popped to left field. Claims a long run over near the foul line. Gets there, and the inning is over. But the Red Sox add two more. It is 6-0 early. It'll be Encarnacion Johnson and Brett Lowry to bat here in the second.
I was talking to Dwayne Murphy today around the batting cage, and I was asking him about Edwin Encarnacion. Why has he had so much success since the All-Star break? 49 games since the All-Star break. He's hit over 300. He says he's starting to use the whole field now. We have seen him time after time take that outside pitch, and instead of trying to pull it, drive it into the gap in right center field. So he's using the big part of the field.
Well, early on he had real problems because he hadn't hit a home run. And then he was trying to hit home runs, and he got real pull conscious. And that created more problems for him. Then he finally connected. You remember he hit that home run with Ricky Romero's bat.
That's right.
That was his first home run of the season.
You'll hear hitting coaches tell hitters around the cage, stay in the middle of the field. And all they're saying, they're telling them to stay from left center field to right center field. That helps you keep your shoulder in. It helps you let the ball get a little bit deeper so you don't have any holes in your swing. And I think it's helped Encarnacion.
Lester thought he had thrown a good pitch. He expected to get the call. It's a full count. It is hard to pull the ball. The timing has to be so precise.
You know, you can go up there and be a pull hitter, but chances are you're going to hit about 210. So you better hit, like, let's say, a Mark Reynolds. Mark Reynolds has 30, 40 home run power, and he's a pull hitter. Not many of his home runs go to right field, but he hits 220 and strikes out a lot.
And all he's thinking about doing is damage. Encarnacion fights off a tough pitch. That's that little cut fastball. And that's the pitch that has really been Lester's strength from the moment he got to the big leagues. He always had glove side dominance. He could throw anything to the glove side. He took his game to the next level when he developed the arm side command.
With both his sinking fastball and his breaking ball.
There's that hard cutter down and in. Another strikeout for Lester.
On Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by your local independently owned home hardware or home hardware building center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
One out, Kelly Johnson. Johnson's made a good impression here since he's joined the Blue Jays. Showing good range, showing the ability to turn a double play. Different styles. He's turned 9 double plays since he's joined the club. This is his 13th start.
And there's something to be said about changing positions, changing teams. The different scenario has certainly helped Aaron Hill. He's done a really good job out in Arizona, and Kelly Johnson's done a nice job here.
That's the best possible trade for both teams when the players contribute. It's at 289. A couple of triples, a couple of home runs since he's joined the Blue Jays. Fights this one off down the left side.
There's some good left-handed starters in the National League. Clayton Kershaw comes to mind. But I wonder if he has seen as many good lefties so far early since that trade. He saw CC Sabathia. This is his first look at John Lester. Did he get a chance to face David Price?
Yes. Which I'm sure he was thrilled about. Now he got to see Price as well.
Not taking anything away from the National League because there's some outstanding pitchers over there. Cole Hamels, Clayton Kershaw from the left side.
Stays alive. Yeah, you ask about facing David Price. He struck out 4 times against David Price in that 14 strikeout game.
He's probably thinking, what's up with this American League here? I thought this was supposed to be a hitter's league.
3-2, 1 out. Kelly Johnson trying to get something going. That's a tough pitch, boy. Lester starts that breaking ball right at his hip.
Third baseman, number 13, Brett Lawrie.
Well, Brett Lawrie got a nice reception from the crowd here with his heroics in last night's game. A walk-off 11th inning home run in a 1-0 ball game. Fastball down and in. That was his 8th home run. Laurie is the fastest to 8 home runs in franchise history. Gotten off to a great start to his career.
We talked about him and Evan Longoria, very comparable type of players. Third baseman, both of them can do a lot of things. I went up and looked up Longoria's first 30 games in the big leagues. We talked about Brett Lawrie's. He blows away what Evan Longoria did when he first came to the big leagues. Longoria, 4 homers, 15 RBIs, a .216 batting average. Brett Lawrie, 100 points higher, double the home runs, and he's got a few more RBIs. I mean, that's how special he is. His first 30 days in the big leagues have been.
And he takes a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs. Brett's sister, Danielle Laurie, here to watch her brother play up in Toronto. And she's been around. She saw his debut in Baltimore. A chance to see him get his first big league hit. J.P. Arancibia. Arancibia has a home run against John Lester. He's 3 for 11. Sitting on 20 home runs. He's tied with John Buck for the franchise record for home runs by a catcher. Ball and a strike. Beautiful night here in Toronto. CN Tower all lit up, roof wide open. There's certainly a hint of fall in the air. There goes Laurie, and Arancibia hammers it into the seats. But Laurie had a good jump at first.
Blue Jays, Buck stole 5 bases last night against the Red Sox. They now have 21 stolen bases in the 13 games against Boston.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There goes Laurie again. The throw to second base was not necessary. Arancibia strikes out. That ends the inning. Blue Jays get a walk with 2 outs, but they strand another base runner. There to cover the Sidney Crosby live press conference. The captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins hasn't talked much since rehabbing from the concussion syndrome. He'll have a press conference. Rogers Sportsnet. It'll take place at noon Eastern time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific. To hear the captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins address his situation, talk about his hockey future, and just bring us up to date with how his recovery is going, coming back from that concussion. Luis Perez back out to work the third inning here. Ball and strike. You can hear all the chanting in the background, and it's quite a lively group we have here tonight. It is Frosh Week here in Toronto, and the University of Toronto freshmen are out here competing against York University, chanting back and forth, and they're having quite a time.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was. It felt like I was at a college football game, going back and forth.
That time of the year. School is back in session. Kids are back in town. Marco Scudero drives this one to the gap. Mike McCoy gets over, cuts it off. Scudero's headed for second, and he'll get there standing up. A leadoff double.
Third straight inning that the Red Sox have gotten the leadoff man on. 1 and 2. If you're going to throw a breaking ball, you got to get it out of the strike zone. They're just too good. This one is right down the middle. It's right at the bottom of the strike zone, but that's where Scudero likes it. Short swing with 2 strikes. Extra base hit.
16th double of the season for Scudero. That's the 5th double of the night for the Red Sox. And quite honestly, I think doubles are more pressurizing than home runs. You turn around, there's a guy in scoring position, you got another guy at the plate. Just don't have any breathing room.
Just keeps the pressure right on the pitcher and on the defense. How many times have you seen it where a pitcher, gives up a couple of runs, couple of runners on base, and they clear the bases with a home run? It seems to just relax them. He could stay in the windup then.
Carl Crawford has one of those doubles. Hit it just inside the bag at first. Crawford's in his first season with the Red Sox. He signed a huge free agent contract leaving Tampa Bay. There's a lot of speculation about where Crawford was going to sign, and I think initially everybody in the offseason felt like he was going to sign with the Angels. There was talk that at one point the Angels were going to get Rafael Soriano, Carl Crawford, and Adrian Beltre. They had made a pitch to get those players, and they all ended up in 3 different destinations.
They ended up somewhere else, but you know who the biggest benefactor of that was? Maybe the Blue Jays. Because the Angels didn't make a big splash in signing free agents, they wanted to do something big in the offseason. They got Vernon Wells.
Yeah. Blue Jays moved Vernon Wells and got out from under that long contract. Gives them some flexibility. Crawford a defensive swing.
Well, they could tell that the Angels had some money to spend if they were offering the types of contracts that Carl Crawford and Adrian Beltre and Soriano, some of the players that you mentioned. So Alex Anthopoulos knew they had some money and worked out.
Since you didn't get any of those other guys, can we talk? Breaking ball. Lind at first. Got a foot race, and he beat Crawford to the bag. 1 out. Scudero moves over to third. Look at that. The Red Sox standing top step, congratulating Crawford for a job well done in the 6-0 game. He moved the runner. Take advantage of that leadoff double.
Sacrificed an at-bat right there. He gets charged with the at-bat, but he moves that runner over.
Well, especially when you get to 2 strikes. That's when you really got to focus on pulling the ball and advancing that base runner. The catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. I mean, that's the whole aspect of winning baseball. You get veterans like this, and the Red Sox, of course, have won their share of pennants and championships, and now everything they do is predicated on winning.
Team oriented, and you get guys starting to buy into it. A lot of times players are, well, I can't get that guy over, I'm trying to drive him in. You know, I'd like to get a big contract. But Terry Francona's done a good job of bringing players in here, buying into that team concept, and winning does that.
And Crawford certainly understands that, coming from Tampa Bay. There's a drive deep to center field. McCoy back on the track at the wall, jumps, it's gone. Saltalamacchia, 2-run home run to center. That is the 6th extra base hit for the Red Sox tonight.
Saltalamacchia's 15th home run. Got robbed of a hit his first time up when he sent that line drive back to the mound. This time a high fastball from Perez, and he leans all over it. From the right side, Saltalamacchia now has 5 home runs. Switch hitter, 10 of them from the left side.
But again, it makes his job that much easier, hitting with less than 2 outs and a runner at third. He's just thinking big part of the field.
Oh, and he sees a high pitch like that. He says, here's the pitch I need to drive that run in. Well, he drove him 2.
Saltalamacchia came over last year in a trade with the Texas Rangers. Darnell McDonald getting the start in right field. We mentioned J.D. Drew is still on the disabled list. Josh Reddick, a left-handed hitter, did not start in this game in right.
Terry Francona was talking about J.D. Drew the other day, that initially went on the DL and then went down to the minor leagues, and right before he was going to get called back up, he took a swing, he hurt his finger, and he's got to start all over again now. He's worried that he might not be ready for when the playoffs come around.
Well, that's the one thing with the Red Sox too. They have a very deep lineup, deep roster, and certainly they've added players with the expansion of rosters. Buchholz, Wakefield will go in the game tomorrow. Mike Aviles was picked up in a deal with Kansas City. Darnell McDonald gets a base hit. That's 10 base hits now for the Red Sox. Boston is a good hitting ball, no matter where they play, but certainly one of the more potent ball clubs on the road. 94 home runs. That's the most in the American League. Lead the Yankees. And Boston, we talk about the Green Monster, but it takes a lot of home runs away from right-handed hitters.
Yeah, it certainly does. You got to get the ball up into the air. They now have 45 home runs in their last 29 road games. Their record on the road since the end of April is a major league best 42-21.
Rami Lewis is warming up. Earlier we saw Joel Carreño warming up in the first inning. Now the left-hander Lewis is up. Ellsbury bounces it out in front of the mound, and Perez retires Ellsbury. 2 outs here in the third inning. Red Sox already top of the order, hitting for a third time in the third inning. Pedroia is 0 for 2. Pedroia is the only Red Sox hitter that doesn't have a hit yet.
It's a bad feeling, isn't it? Everybody's raking, and you're just trying to scratch out that first one. players will come back to the bench. I got mine. You got any yet?
They wouldn't do that, would they? Pedroia hits it off Laurie. Escobar will get it now. Pedroia's got one. Boy, that was a rocket. Laurie couldn't get his glove down. Laurie's going to be given an error on that. And that was a hot shot.
Yeah. Could have gone either way. This will show you this ball. He had one of these in last night's game where he got back on his heels and tried to snag that one hopper. This time he'll be charged with the error, his 4th of the season, and it'll knock Luis Perez out of this ball game.
Tough start for Perez. The Red Sox took advantage of his lack of command. Rami Lewis will come back to take on Adrian Gonzalez with 2 outs. And 24 strikes, and by all reports it sounds like he is right back to where he was before he got hurt.
That's amazing, coming back like that on the Tommy John surgery so quickly. Rami Lewis into the ball game. He worked last time 2 days ago, just a 3rd of an inning in New York. Gave up a couple of hits and an earned run.
Adrian Gonzalez takes the first pitch strike. Gonzalez 2 for 2. He scored 2, driven in 2. Ball on a strike. Red Sox 8 runs on 10 hits. Dustin McGowan is in the Blue Jays bullpen, and this might be a night where he can have plenty of time to warm up and make his first appearance.
Certainly looks that way. Right now they're just trying to figure out how to piece it together after the starter can only go 2 2/3 with that bullpen. Blue Jays made some moves today, but they don't have the players here just yet.
Players making their way to Toronto. They should be here later on tonight and be in uniform tomorrow. Bullpen used 4 pitchers last night: Villanueva, Jansen, Francisco, and Camp. Rami Lewis comes in and strikes out Adrian Gonzalez. That ends the 3rd inning, but the Red Sox tack on 2 more. Luis Perez had a tough night.
they had and throw quality pitches. This type of offense that the Red Sox have, the best in the American League, they'll make you pay. 10 hits and 8 earned runs in just 2 2/3 innings for Luis Perez. He was up in the strike zone all night tonight and really didn't have that breaking ball that could neutralize some of those batters. So his night is over, just 1 strikeout and a couple of walks.
John Lester sent to work the 3rd inning. Number 9 hitter Mike McCoy. First pitch strike. Oh, 2.
Well, right now, John Lester can just attack. He's got some room for error right now. Doesn't have to get too fancy, just make pitches. The whole thing, just be aggressive right now.
Comes right at McCoy and strikes him out. That's 5 strikeouts now for Lester. When we talk about the Blue Jays calling up some players with the expanded roster, and you take a look at the name, David Cooper won the PCL batting title, hitting .360 for Kyle Drabek. Don't get too concerned about those numbers. The Blue Jays GM Alex Anthopoulos saw him pitch in Las Vegas, liked what he saw. How about Adam Lowe making a comeback as a position player after making it to the big leagues with the Orioles as a pitcher? Also, Chad Beck, Brad Mills, and Danny Farquhar will all be joining Blue Jays tomorrow.
And John Farrell made a point today.
Escobar has his 2nd hit.
John Farrell made a point today about Adam Lowe, and that someone asked him in the scrum today, is this a reward for the great season that Adam Lowe has had down in AAA? And he said, no, wait a minute, I want to set this record straight right now. He earned his promotion here to the major leagues. This is not a reward. He had a great year. It's because he earned it, the great year that he put in and the work that he put in. He earned a spot up here in the big leagues, and I think that was very important.
Adam Lowe had 46 doubles in AAA, and we will chat with John Farrell after this half inning. Eric Thames takes a strike. Kyle Drabek, we talk about his record. He made 14 starts in Las Vegas and used his fastball a little more effectively. Ball and a strike. Dustin McGowan. You can bet he's got some butterflies churning in his stomach now as he's starting to loosen up. They'll give him plenty of time to get loose. Looking forward to his first appearance in a big league game since 2008. He hasn't pitched since July of 2008 in the big leagues, and he has battled multiple injuries, 2 shoulder surgeries, a knee surgery, and he has put in a lot of time, and this is a long-awaited moment.
Certainly is. There are times when you are injured and you're away from the ball club, you just feel like you're nobody, but you put in the hours in the hopes of getting back here. Here's the surgery, Buck, that you were just talking about. In 2008, he had a labrum tear in his right shoulder, and that was the surgery that set him out for that year. And then while he was hurt, he had knee surgery while he was rehabbing, trying to get loose and trying to stay in shape. He hurt his knee, and then again, shoulder surgery in 2010. That was the rotator cuff surgery that he had.
Thames hits a fly ball to the right. McDonald gets over and makes the catch. Thames might have hit that off the end of the bat. 2 outs. That'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate. Frosh week here in Toronto, and the kids are out having a good time. Yunel Escobar with his 2nd hit of the night is at first base. Bautista pops it up a mile high. Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman, makes the catch, and the inning is over. We have played 3 innings here. It's all Boston, 8-0. When we come back, we'll visit with the manager, John Farrell. What are the plans for Dustin McGowan tonight?
Well, right now, Buck, he'll come in and he'll pitch the 5th inning on, and we've got up to 70 pitches to use with him tonight. It'll be good to see, him to get back on the mound, see himself compete against major league hitters again at this level. Granted, he's got a tall order coming in against this lineup, but I think all of us that are well aware of his track record and what Dustin's gone through, this will be an exciting moment for him tonight.
John, you saw him from across the diamond when he pitched against you a couple of years ago. Talk about that memorable night when you thought Dustin McGowan was something special.
Well, Buck, as good a stuff as you ever want to find. Mid to upper 90s type velocity, his secondary stuff, his breaking ball and the changeup were all well above average. And on the night when everything came together for him, I think we scored 1 run late on him in the 7th or 8th inning, and it was a dominant performance. So I'm sure while he's warming up, there's a lot of thoughts that are going through his mind, but none more important than getting back on the mound.
It'll be great to see him again. John, thanks for your time.
Okay, guys. Talk to you soon.
Rami Lewis working to Kevin Youkilis. John Farrell saw Dustin McGowan pitch a game against the Red Sox a couple years ago, and he said it was as good a stuff as he had seen at any point. Obviously, no one really knows what we're going to see from Dustin McGowan, but he certainly has earned this opportunity.
I got a chance to watch him against the Colorado Rockies, and he threw a 1-hitter. And that day it was like, all right, this is the next big thing in my mind for the Toronto Blue Jays. Tall, threw hard, threw strikes. He had strikeout pitches. I mean, he had the Colorado Rockies. That's a good hitting team looking silly.
Well, you can see his record, and you look at his record, you say, well, what's the big deal? He's 20 and 22 ERA, almost 5, but it's what he is capable of doing. Laurie, and Youkilis beats it out. Brett Laurie went to his left, gloved it, spun around, and Youkilis, always hustling out of the box, beat it out.
You see the type of range that the Blue Jays get now from their third baseman. Going far to his left, knocks it down and comes up throwing. But the ball started tailing a little bit on Adam Lynn. Watch how far he goes to get this 2-hopper. Way in the hole. That is athleticism and explosiveness from the lower half. But he just can't come up with the throw.
So now the shift is on with David Ortiz batting. Youkilis at first. There's a first pitch strike. Ortiz has singled, driven in a run. He's also popped up to left. 1-2.
Ortiz is trying to get to 100 RBIs with the Red Sox for the 7th time in his 9-year Red Sox career. 2009, he had 99 RBIs. That's one of the years. Last year drove in 102. Seems like the last couple of years they've been riding David Ortiz off. He just keeps coming up with big numbers.
2008, he hit 264, and that started the chatter. Well, maybe Big Papi's coming to the end. 23 homers, 89 RBIs. Then he hit 238, and the volume went up. But boy, he has quieted a lot of critics.
Got off to some horrible starts the last couple of years. Not this year. The two prior to that, and the whispers got a little bit louder. But he turned it on.
Full count, nobody out. Bounced foul at home. David Ortiz is signed through this season, and the Red Sox then will make a decision, bring him back again, and hard to produce these numbers.
He'll end up with 30 home runs and 100 RBIs again. 35 years old. He will not turn 36 until November of this year. But he is more to them than just numbers. He's a leader. You can lean on him, a lot like the Blue Jay teams in the early 90s would lean on David Winfield.
This ball is hit high and deep to center field. McCoy back on the track, off the wall. Euclid being waved around third. Ortiz will stop at second. And David Ortiz has his second RBI. Another extra base hit for the Red Sox.
They've done that plenty of times here tonight. Another double. And an RBI for Ortiz, number 91, and he comes oh so close to home run number 29. Ball down. Deepest part of the ballpark, about halfway up the wall in center field.
36 doubles now for Ortiz. Big production. 36 doubles, 28 homers, and 91 driven in. Red Sox must not have slept very well last night after losing 1-0. They came out with their hitting shoes on tonight.
They have been struggling to score some runs of late. They've lost coming into this game 4 of 5, and they were shut out in 2 of those games. They were mad from the first batter tonight.
They had a rough homestand. They lost 4 of the 9 games on the homestand, and they've lost ground to the Yankees. Marco Scudero shoots one in the gap. Ortiz will come around third. He's going to score. Bautista slides and knocks it down, but it's back-to-back doubles for Boston here in the fourth.
Marco Scudero already with 3 hits. And another RBI. An infield single by Euclid, a booming double by Ortiz, and now Scudero takes the ball the other way. He's always had that short inside-out swing, and this ball's driven into the gap in right field. 10-0.
Carl Crawford. Lester McGowan appears to be ready. I think ideally they'd like to be able to bring him in to start an inning, given that he has started in his rehab in the minor leagues.
Yep, you can go into the windup right away. You don't want to come in with runners on base. They need to start getting some outs here. Goalkeeper Rami Lewis, I think, is just to stay relaxed and don't overthrow. When he muscles up right now, that's when the ball starts leaking up in the strike zone.
When he is down with good movement, he can be effective, but you're right. He's left a lot of balls up out over the plate in this inning.
Pat Henkin, excuse me, Buck. Pat Henkin keeps telling him when they're down in the bullpen and they're working on things, don't try and throw the ball past the batter. Just concentrate on making pitches. And we've seen it over the years that if you just make pitches, you're going to get the batters out. Start humping up and trying to muscle up and throw it by him. That's when the ball shoots all over the place and you just can't control it.
Breaking ball is fouled into the seats. Still nobody out here in the fourth. Euclid single, Ortiz doubled, Scudero doubled, and now call Crawford. Crawford strikes out. First out of the inning. Rose has 2 strikeouts since coming into the game. He struck out Adrian Gonzalez at the end of the 3rd inning. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach, talking with Gonzalez. 2 more games left in this series. And the Blue Jays will go to Boston to play a short 2-game series next week. Here's Saltalamacchia at his 15th home run of the season. His last time up. Deep drive to center. Saltalamacchia came up in the Atlanta Braves system, and he's always had a lot of hype. They've always talked about the fact he was a power hitting, switch hitting catcher. Just exactly what you want. And then he was traded to Texas in a Mark Teixeira trade. And things didn't work out with the Rangers, and he eventually made his way here via a trade last July.
I think it's going to work out quite nicely for him. He's got one of the best catching instructors in all of baseball to work with, and the bullpen coach Gary Tuck, and they're out there working every day. I was watching him this afternoon before batting practice down the right field line, working on his footwork, receiving the ball. I mean, that's the part as a young player, young catcher, that you have to really polish up your game.
Gary Tuck's one of the premier catching coaches in all of baseball. He was with the Yankees when Jorge Posada was coming to the big leagues. He helped Joe Girardi and certainly turned Posada into a all-star catcher. And Posada was a second baseman. They converted him in the minors, and Tuck completed the job in the big leagues. Gary Tuck always works even with Jason Varitek, the veteran catcher.
Every day. He's got all kind of drills. He's got a little bag with all his little goodies in there, and then they go out there and they work on receiving the ball and footwork. I mean, there's so many things that you have to do. And I think this is another instance where a player gets traded to the right team for him, and his career can take off. We've seen it so many times in the big leagues.
Well, if you're a catcher and you're going to split time with somebody else on your club, Jason Varitek's a pretty good guy to split time with. He's anxious to help and share, and Rami Lewis strikes out Saltalamacchia. Back-to-back strikeouts.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Darnell McDonald, the right fielder. He's 1 for 2. McDonald, former first-round pick of the Baltimore Orioles. Did a good job for Boston last year. Dustin McGowan will pitch the 5th inning, making his first major league appearance since July of 2008.
Throwing a little bit harder right now with a little bit more conviction. He still has the bottom of the inning to wait through.
But he's had plenty of time, and they want to make sure that he warms up as if he were starting. And he has gone 3 2/3 innings in the minors, thrown about 70 pitches during his minor league rehab. That's a little blooper, and that's trouble. Bautista dives and makes a catch, and then ball pops out of his glove. What an effort by Jose Bautista in a 10-0 game, trying to end the inning. Dove for that little blooper, had it in his glove, and it just popped out once he hit the turf.
Closing speed is what Bautista puts on this ball. He comes out of your picture into it, and it looks like he had it. And you're right, when he hit the ground, just popped right out of his glove right there. It didn't go anywhere. He thinks he still has it. He looks into his glove, and he can't believe it's not there.
Jacoby Ellsbury has batted in every inning. This is his 4th at bat. A ball and a strike, 2 outs. Boston has scored 3 more runs in this inning. It's 11-0. Red Sox are 8 for 17 tonight with runners in scoring position. They've hit 7 doubles and a home run. Spray fouls that ball off his foot. Two balls and 2 strikes. Rami Lewis trying to end the top of the 4th. It's a late swing, and that ball was sliced into the seats. A little deflection, like he was in front of the net. Another base hit for Ellsbury. McDonald will stop at second.
Darnell McDonald with a couple of hits, and now Jacoby Ellsbury, a couple of hits and a walk, sends this one right back through the middle. They have hit some balls hard tonight.
They've hit 7 doubles. That's a season high for the Red Sox. They had 6 doubles 5 different times, and this is the first time they've amassed 7 doubles in a game. 7 doubles in a 9-inning game. They had 7 doubles in a 14-inning game on the 4th of June against Oakland.
They'll make you pay. You don't make a good pitch. They came into this game #1 in the American League in batting in terms of average, just about 280 as a team. They have scored 747 runs coming into this game, second only to the Yankees, who are at 765.
Oh, 2, 2 outs, 2 runners on. Dustin Pedroia, still the only Red Sox batter without a hit. He hit one right at Brett Lawrie. It was a shot. Lawrie was charged with the error. He appealed to first, and Jeff Kellogg said no swing. Dustin McGowan has put his sweatshirt on. It's a cool night here. He's obviously gotten loose. Don Farrell told us earlier McGowan would pitch the 5th inning.
He's not going to leave it out there in the bullpen. This inning is very long. They can't get that last out, so he was throwing. It looked like he was getting loose, and they've been waiting now for a while to get this last out.
Pedroia hits it, and Laurie snags it. Laurie takes a hit away from Dustin Pedroia, and that ends the inning. It's 11-0 Boston. .ca. Sharp Aquos makes bigger, better. John Lester spent a lot of time sitting on the bench. His team has pounded out 15 hits. They've scored 11 runs.
No tricks tonight from John Lester. He can put some of those bullets back in the holster with an 11-run lead and just concentrate on spotting a good fastball.
Goes the breaking ball. It's a ball and a strike. One and two. Lester, we mentioned his run support. He's among the leaders in runs while he's in a ball game, and certainly when he pitches against the Blue Jays, that's nothing new. Last time he pitched at Rogers Center, he won 14-1.
He doesn't need that many runs. He is in the top 10 in ERA. He's had some of his better games against the Blue Jays in his career.
On the 17th of April at Fenway, he won 8-1. He went 6 innings, scattered 6 hits. Breaking ball, and Lynn strikes out. Time for Twitter trivia now. Who was the last Blue Jays player to have back-to-back 40 home runs other than Jose Bautista? If you know the answer, send it to Blue Jays, and you could win a Jose Bautista autographed baseball. Who was the last Blue Jay player to have back-to-back 40 home run seasons? Edwin Encarnacion was all over that pitch, but he hooked it foul.
Last time the Blue Jays saw John Lester, remember that, right around the All-Star break in Fenway Park? He was dealing.
The 5th of July, and he made that start. There was no contest. He went 4 innings, then he had to leave the back with a lat strain, back of his shoulder.
Hadn't given up a hit in that game. If you remember, you and I were looking at each other saying, like, he's got his A game tonight.
2 strikeouts here in the 4th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. C.J. Wilson against Jeff Neiman in that game. Wilson looking for his 15th win of the season, as you saw Dustin McGowan with the last couple of tune-up pitches. He will come into this ball game in the 5th inning. Kelly Johnson. Ball on a strike. Kelly Johnson was caught looking. Lester threw that big sweeping slider right at Johnson's hip, and it broke over the heart of the plate. This is a broken black fly into right. Darnell McDonald cuts in front of Jacoby Ellsbury. It's a quick inning, a 1-2-3 4th inning. It's 11-0, and Dustin McGowan has returned to the big leagues.
And he said he hopes that when he gets out there that he takes some time while in the game to step back and realize where he is and how far he has come to get to this point for not only himself but for his family. He said after he finishes up his warm-up throws, he hopes he takes a couple of steps back off the mound and thinks about and realizes and thinks back to all the endless hours of work that you have to do to get to this point right here, that he made it back. And I guarantee you it's all going to be worth it.
2008 was his last year in the big leagues, and he was as dominant as anybody the Blue Jays had.
Exploding fastball. Watch this. Throws it right by the batters. He also had a good curveball, a good changeup, but it was that fastball that really opened up a lot of eyes. You can see the delivery is a beautiful delivery. It's very repeatable. He stays in it. It helps him to throw a lot of strikes. When he first came up, he was a little wild at times, but then it seemed like he was ready to take that next step to be a very good pitcher, and that's when the injuries started happening.
Dustin McGowan has made 12 starts in the minor leagues, 7 at Dunedin in the Florida State League, 5 in New Hampshire in the Eastern League. And there are his numbers for those 12 games. Adrian Gonzalez. Well, you talk about, and I know Dustin's not thinking about it, but coming into a game when the hitters have really been swinging hot bats all night long, he is just thrilled to be back on the mound.
Yeah, John Farrell said it in the 4th inning when we were talking to him. You know, he's throwing them right into the fire against a team that is red hot right now. There's a base hit.
Adrian Gonzalez has his third hit of the night. Pretty good pitch down and away, and he just went with it and lined it into left. I had Dustin McGowan in 2001, his first year in big league camp, and he was, I believe, 18 years old at the time. And you could see he had special tools.
Yeah, just learning the pitch at that time. Didn't have the ability to throw consistent strikes, but he's always had the great arm. Nothing you can do about that. That was a good pitch.
Pretty good pitch right there. 94 miles an hour. Jillian McGowan on the left. That's Heidi Camp on the right. And wives are very supportive. And they're the ones that have to take care of all the household things. Euclid lifts it into center field. McCoy gets there. It's very difficult to understand the life of a pitcher going through rehab. You're by yourself. McGowan played in the major leagues. He had success, won 12 games in 2007, and then 3.5 years of exercise and rehab and taking baby steps and being told you can only throw 10 pitches today, maybe 15 next time, and just to be able to stay dedicated to that process is remarkable.
Small steps, and at times as this ball is lifted to center field.
David Ortiz hits another one at the bottom of the fence in center field. He's headed to second. He'll get there.
And the steps that you go forward, and then sometimes the steps that you come back. One day you don't feel as strong as you did, and you feel like everything has gone out the window, all the work that you have put in, but you just have to keep going. And what about the trainers that have worked with him? How about, you know, a shout out to them, all the work that they have done over the last few years helping him?
Yeah, and there's been a host of them, and you can bet Jillian understands the efforts and the feelings I'm sure she's sharing right now with her husband. But you're right, it's strength coaches, building it back up, getting the range of motion, getting out of the sling and taking the range of motion from just lifting your arm to the side and going to a 2-pound weight, then a 5-pound weight. George Poulos, Brian King, Hap Hudson, all putting in hours of work to really help Dustin McGowan stay positive and say, you know, don't get discouraged, because next week you're going to throw from 25 feet. It's hard. Marco Scudero hits one down the left field line. This will be another double, and 2 more runs will come in to score.
Tonight isn't about walks, hits, strikeouts. It's about coming back and pitching in a big league game. Marco Scudero has 3 doubles, 4 hits on the night. High and inside pitch. That ball is actually out of the strike zone. But when you're hot and you're seeing the ball like the way the Red Sox are, you're going to hit everything.
Carl Crawford. And you can see McGowan's velocity, 95, 96. And that's the good thing. It means he's healthy. Last thing that comes, your command, the polish. To a changeup, and Scudero will stay right at second. The Blue Jays anxious to see just exactly what they have in Dustin McGowan. They know what kind of character he has, because he's answered that already times 10, if you will.
Yeah, just to be able to get back here. John Farrell again was talking before the game, and they asked him the difference between starting and relieving. McGowan's been a starter his whole career. He's relieving in this game here, and he said really the only difference is long toss. You don't get the long toss before you get back out on the mound. Starters will go before the game and get loose, and then they'll start long tossing just to stretch their arm out. and then gradually come back in 60 feet 6 inches, get on the mound. That's the only difference.
Well, people understand what Dustin McGowan was before he was hurt. And I'm sure there are a lot of McGowan fans rooting for him to make it all the way back. There's a good breaking ball down and in. And Dustin himself, and you think about it, he's been pitching now, as John Farrell said, for almost a year. When you consider the rehab and the work, and he hasn't had a break mentally or physically. How about that? He strikes out Carl Crawford.
Looked like a changeup. That gets Crawford. And then it goes down. I asked him that the other day. I asked him how his arm felt. He said, my arm feels fine. With all the work, and then they're up to 70 pitches, and he threw 3 2/3 the other day in Double-A. He said, my body's sore from all the work that you're getting in, but my arm feels great.
I think the Blue Jays anxious just to have Dustin finish up this month healthy and then take a normal off season, rest, and then begin a rehab process of getting ready for spring training. There's the final out of the inning. The Blue Jays give up 2 more, but the good news, Dustin McGowan is back in the big leagues. Now it's time for a Jays Connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell, Greg Zahn in the Blackberry Broadcast Studio. Dustin McGowan has an inning under his belt in the big leagues. His first appearance in the major leagues since July of 2008. And he doesn't worry one bit about that line on the inning. He's healthy. He threw some good pitches. His delivery looks good.
Yeah, this isn't again about how many hits he gave up or how many runs he gave up. This is about him being back out there and being a part of this organization.
Brett Lowry, a ball on the strike. Blue Jays have just 2 hits against John Lester. Yunel Escobar has them both. Breaking ball. Lester's mixing up his pitches, even though it's a big lead for him. He wants to make sure he continues to pitch. Down and in, another strikeout. That's 8 for Lester. Last night, Brett Lawrie hit a walk-off home run in a 1-0 game, and the celebration was unique. This is his arrival at home plate.
How high he is. He kind of reminds us of another legendary leaper, Michael Jordan. How about that? Look at them next to each other. Now, just put a basketball in Brett Lawrie's hand, and it looks like MJ.
J.P. Arencibia goes after the first pitch and fouls it off. Brett Lawrie's a special athlete with explosive abilities defensively and at the plate.
You just watch him.
Arencibia deep in the hole. Scudero slides. Not in time. Arencibia has an infield hit. They talk about Brett Lawrie and his athleticism and the celebration, and he said, yeah, that's nothing new. I can do a lot of things athletically.
Oh yeah, I can dunk a basketball, but I think I got a little higher than usual there because I was so hyped up.
The guy's a freak athlete. I mean, he's one of those guys that is just good at everything he does. That's what he's blessed with, and that's why he's going to be a star and a player for a long time.
Brett Lawrie and J.P. Arencibia roommates here in Toronto, and they room together in spring training. That ball gets away from Saltalamacchia. Arencibia will go to second.
Blue Jays get their first runner to second base tonight against John Lester. They've had a walk and 3 singles. And because of that wild pitch, he's able to move up.
Mike McCoy swings and misses. Defensively, Nate Spears has come on and taken over for Carl Crawford in left field.
Making his big league debut right here. His first ever call up to the big leagues was yesterday. Spent 9 years in the minor leagues.
How about that? He spent Orioles. He had 4 years in the Orioles system, 2 more years with the Cubs, and then the Red Sox the last 2 years. And now he's getting a chance to play in a big league game.
He won over Terry Francona and the coaching staff with his versatility and his excitement in spring training with his team. Had a great attitude in the spring. He played second and right field. He played some third base and some shortstop and some left field. Terry Francona rewarded him by getting him into his first big league game.
Mike McCoy struck out back in the 3rd inning. Boy, that's a tough pitch. I don't care if it's 13-0 or nothing to nothing. That has great finish on it. That breaking ball down and in.
Tough to lay off of it if you're a right-handed batter, because it looks like it's in the middle of the plate. But if you recognize it and you're able to hold up, you could fight for another pitch.
Bounce to short. Scudero will go across the diamond. Arencibia moves up, but now there are 2 outs.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
J.P. Arencibia singled. Escobar has the other 2 hits the Blue Jays have picked up against Leicester.
He singled on both of those times up on the first pitch. Fastball from Leicester. So he picks up on that. John throws him a breaking ball. And Escobar's behind.
That's that hard cutter. Just a little late movement. And that face, just think about the thoughts that are spinning in his mind. Dustin McGowan has an inning under his belt back in the big leagues, and looks like he's coming back for another inning at least.
He had 70 pitches when he was in the minor leagues in his last start. The limit 70-75 pitches. So he's built up his arm. It's just how long 70 pitches will take him tonight.
Lester with another good pitch down and in. John Lester has 9 strikeouts through 5 innings. Dustin McGowan back for another inning. Sure, he would be preparing for the season, but right now everything is on hold. Welcome to Rogers Center. Welcome to Toronto. Dustin McGowan. He's now 29 years old and certainly has worked hard and earned this great opportunity. Go back to his draft pick. He was a first-round draft pick, 33rd pick overall in the 2000 amateur draft. Had a lot of hype, and like I said, I had him in spring training 2001, and you could see that he was something special.
Yeah, he's always had the very good arm, good mechanics. You know, right now it's where does he fit? Is he going to be able to be a starter, or does he become a reliever?
Adrian Gonzalez was the first overall pick in that 2000 draft. Drafted by the Florida Marlins. People forget that he was Florida, then Texas, then San Diego. They had a long path to find his opportunity. That's a better breaking ball right there. He's ahead 1-2.
But with the injuries that he has had, you know, there's some talk that, well, maybe he becomes a reliever. You know, his stuff is so good, and then he doesn't have to worry about 6 or 7 innings or 100 and 110 pitches. Blue Jays' attitude through this whole thing is we're going to put him out there and we're going to see what's best for him, what's best for the organization. They don't know. Right now, he's a starter.
That's a wicked pitch right there.
Yeah.
Couldn't pick up any rotation whatsoever on the slider, and Darnell McDonald strikes out. Jacoby Ellsbury. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think Dustin McGowan probably is best suited to this point to be a starter. A predictable routine. He can take care of his arm probably a little bit better as a starter. That's a changeup right there, and a good one.
We've seen the straight overhand fastball. He sunk that first fastball to Ellsbury, the slider and the changeup. So he has 3 above average pitches, which really projects to being a starter.
He strikes out Ellsbury, a hard breaking ball in the dirt. Back-to-back strikeouts for McGowan here in the 6th.
Change up and then curveball. It's free and easy. It's got a nice bite to it. He threw a game against Kansas City a few years ago. And the coaching staff came up to me and said he was just a young player. They weren't real sure. They're like, who is that guy? I said, listen, you're going to hear a lot from this young man. He's got a good arm. He's got good mechanics. It's very repeatable. He throws strikes. And that's when bad things started happening.
Just injuries and the shoulder problems. And shoulder problems are very complex. So many muscles in that combination of rotator cuff. And just such a delicate process to repair it and then rehab it. Dustin Pedroia grounds out to short. A 1-2-3 inning for Dustin McGowan, the first for the Blue Jays tonight. Josh Reddick, who started in the game last night, moves into right field defensively. Mike Aviles comes off the bench, takes over at second base for Dustin Pedroia. So some of the regulars getting the rest of the night off. Dustin McGowan in his second inning of work. 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts. popped into left field. Nate Spears coming on and making a running catch.
It's Canada's best-selling car 13 years in a row. Honda, the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Dustin McGowan in his second inning went 1-2-3 in the sixth, and looks like he's going to go back out. The whole point of McGowan pitching in a situation like this, they had plenty of time to get him loose. They weren't going to rush him and bring him in the middle of the inning, so in a lopsided game like this, worked out perfectly for McGowan.
And he'll be on a pitch count.
Bautista hits it off of Euclid. The throw not in time. That ball handcuffed Kevin Euclid.
I think it hit him in his meat hand, his right throwing hand, as that last hop off the turf came up, and looks like it got him in the fingers. Watch the last hop right there, and just ricochet right off of his hand. Picks it up, throws it away, and he looks right down at his hand right after that. Just a piece of it. He'll be charged with his 8th error. That ball right at him. Bautista beats it out.
And Bautista has been taken out of the game for a pinch runner. Dwayne Wise comes off the bench. Frustrating night after such an emotional high yesterday afternoon, winning 1-0 in 11 innings. And the Red Sox got it going early and never slowed down. Hitters up and down this order. Jacoby Ellsbury has a couple of hits. He's the leadoff guy. Two balls and a strike. John Lester has 9 strikeouts. His season high in strikeouts is 11. That came at home against the Angels. 7 innings back on May 3rd. He struck out 11. That's bounced to third. Euclid throws on the run in time to get Lynn. 2 outs. Wise moves into second.
A game like this, 13-0. John Lester go the distance, or do you start backing off on your starters?
Yeah, they're going to watch his pitch count. No reason to have him go much over 100 pitches. The pitch count is always a concern at this point of the season. He had a season high 127, but that was way back at the end of May.
I think any time that you can save an inning here or save an inning there in September for your starters, you do it. Now, he's throwing a shutout, but that shouldn't come into the thought process. They're thinking about October.
Yeah, he hasn't had a shutout in 104 starts. It goes all the way back to 2008. Dustin McGowan has pitched 2 innings here this evening. He's sitting on the bench. Nobody's warming up in the Jays pen, so he's going to go back out at least for another inning. I can't imagine what his thoughts are right now sitting on the bench. He's in a big league ballpark again. This is where he made his major league start with the Blue Jays. And he has been on an island. I mean, when you rehab, you move from team to team. He went from Dunedin to New Hampshire. And you can see him just kind of reflecting there on the bench about where he's at. Scudero throws out Encarnacion. The inning is over. We have played 6 complete. Dustin McGowan prepared to work the 3rd inning of his outing. awarded a Jose Bautista autographed baseball on this tweeting Tuesday. A lot of changes for the Blue Jays. Defensively, Dwayne Wise came in as a pinch runner for Jose Bautista. He moves into center field. With that, McCoy goes from center to right. And Adam Lind is out of the game, and Mark Teahen takes over defensively at first base, and Dustin McGowan is trending on Twitter. People are following him, and they're tweeting about Dustin McGowan's return to the big leagues. The first batter he faced in the 5th inning was Adrian Gonzalez, who singled to left field. Whenever you have pitchers, any athlete for that matter, coming back from injury, they really pay attention to mechanics, because you understand how important a good delivery is. This ball is popped up. Shallow center field. Wise is moving in.
And he has a good delivery. He stays over the rubber a very long time. It's called gathering. Gather yourself over the rubber, and when you do that, when your lower half starts towards home plate, that gives your arm a chance to get up and get in the proper position. You want to get the ball behind your hand, behind the ball. And it is a thing of beauty, I think, his mechanics. There was a time where he threw a split finger fastball when he was a young player. They've taken that away from him. Plenty of heat. And it's free and easy heat. You've faced guys before that are very smooth on the mound like that, and all of a sudden the ball's on top of you. And it's not a good feeling.
Alex Anthopoulos and Chase Satori, to Alex's left, standing behind him, very interested in watching Dustin McGowan throw, especially throwing to big league hitters. Big league hitters will tell you whether or not the breaking ball is being picked up early, whether there's late movement, how much deception he has with his changeup. You don't really get a feel for that when you have a big league pitcher like McGowan facing minor league hitters.
No, he can just outthink them, outstuff them, if you will, with the kind of stuff that he possesses. But when you watch Adrian Gonzalez, like that last at bat, he threw him a changeup and he was out in front. He messed with him. And he actually fooled him. Saw Darnell McDonald swing at a slider for a strikeout.
Euclid with an emergency swing. McGowan bare-hands it and fired a strike to first base. Seven in a row now retired by McGowan, and he's been in the strike zone.
How about that? 32 pitches and only 9 of them outside the strike zone. 23 strikes. And he's using all of his pitches. I think I'd rather have him face a team like the Red Sox to get a true barometer of the type of stuff that he has. A team that's hot, a team that comes in here swinging the sticks. And then if you have success against them, then you know it's legit.
Well, then you can say, well, you know, the Red Sox got off to a big league. They really don't care if they get any more hits or not. That's not true.
Not true at all.
Guys are trying to pad their stats, get as many hits as they can. They certainly don't want to lay down for Dustin McGowan. Ortiz sounded like he broke his back. Just slaps it into left.
That's twice that has happened against McGowan. Threw a good pitch. Remember, Adrian Gonzalez singled on a ground ball to the third baseman, and now with the shift on, same thing. Pitch going down and away. Ortiz stays with it. Where that one is, out of the strike zone. And it's a ground ball to third baseman. With the shift, it's a single.
Two outs. Marco Scudero's had some night. Scudero's had 4 hits and 3 doubles. Ball on the strike. We are in the 7th inning. Scudero gets tied up with that inside fastball.
Spent some time on the DL this year, Marco Scudero. He's never had a 5-hit game in his career.
Red Sox haven't had a hitter get 5 hits this year. They've had hitter collect 4 hits 18 times. The last to do that was Josh Reddick over the weekend against Texas. Reddick did not start in this game. He came into the ball game defensively in the 6th. Marco Scudero is the 3rd Red Sox batter to have 3 doubles in a game. They have not had a hitter have 4. But the hitters have owned the night. David Ortiz at first base, his 15th career 4-hit game. Three and 2, 2 outs. Scudero will walk. J.D. Drew still on the disabled list, talking on the bench. Connor Jackson banged himself up running into the fence in Fenway. He was picked up from Oakland to add some depth to the Red Sox bench. Upstairs, and McGowan wants a new baseball.
Nate Spears. There are his numbers in Pawtucket this year. 8 home runs, 45 RBIs. Got off to a very slow start down there. Since May, he's hit .271. This is his first big league AB.
And he pops it up. Thames has a beat on it, and he will make the catch. Red Sox strand the pair. Dustin McGowan's had a good outing here tonight. as the benches are being utilized here tonight. Chris Woodward gets his first at-bat. Woodward came into the game defensively at second for Kelly Johnson. Chris Woodward had a big year at Las Vegas. 296, 13 home runs. This is his second stint with the Blue Jays, and he fouls it back.
You know, his biggest contribution didn't come with the bat or the glove. His biggest contribution might have been the influence that he had on a lot of the young players down there, especially Brett Lawrie.
Woodward played in 5 games earlier in the season, had a total of 4 at-bats, but you're right on the money. Woodward played shortstop while Lawrie was playing third, and Chris Woodward signed with the Blue Jays in spring training. Pops this from back out of play. It's an interesting story. Chris Woodward came over to camp. I was there the day he showed up, and he lives in the area. He had decided to retire. He was going to join an agency, a player's agency, and start that career. Alex Anthopoulos asked George Poulos, who's that guy over there? And he goes, that's Chris Woodward. He said, a good guy? He said, he's a great guy and a great baseball man. So wouldn't you know it, they had a conversation or two, and before you knew it, Woody was back in uniform. But it was a great idea because Chris Woodward is a real pro. He's been an extra player most of his career, but he understands what it is to play on good teams. Played with Boston. He played here in Toronto. Played with the Braves.
The Braves, right. I think he played with the Mets also. The young kids had no idea that he had played in the big leagues.
Well, even Brett Lawrie, when Lawrie was sent to the minor leagues, he saw this old guy in the Las Vegas clubhouse during spring training. He kind of looked at him and didn't really say much, and then he started to ask him about playing. You played? How long did you play? 10 years in the big leagues? And then he became very interested
in what he had to say, and he gave him some tips also. How to prepare, how to act, how to conduct yourself on the field. And then before you knew it, when they were playing side by side, Brett Lawrie would inch over towards shortstop and ask Woody, where should I play this guy? How should I play that guy? And Chris Woodward has been a real asset. 2-2. Cut on and missed. That's 10 strikeouts for John Lester. 1 out in the 7th. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Bit of irony that Steven Strasburg and Dustin McGowan returned to the big leagues, and Strasburg certainly coming back from Tommy John surgery in just about 12 months, and it's been a much longer road for Dustin McGowan. A night of comebacks in the big leagues. How about that? Tommy John surgery last year, and here he is pitching 12 months later.
Yeah, it's really shortened the rehab time over the last several seasons, and Strasburg, a big power pitcher. Popped into right field. Josh Reddick camped under it. Laurie's retired. 2 outs. So J.P. Arancibia, he's got 1 for 2 tonight. Red Sox lead 13-0.
John Lester in line for his 15th win of the season. That's going to make 4 straight years that he has won at least 15 games. And that's all he does is win. Coming into this game, his career record, 75 wins and 31 losses. And this is his time of the year. where he turns it on as the Red Sox get close to the playoffs.
This is his 11th start here at Rogers Center. He's 5-3, and he's held the opponents, the Blue Jays, to a batting average under 200. And right there, he matches his season high with his 11th strikeout. A 1-2-3-7 for John Lester. Dustin McGowan will come back out to the top of the 8th. At Karim Kinjani, and you look at, is Brett Lawrie eligible for AL Rookie of the Year? If so, does he stand a chance?
Well, if you're asking today, right now, he is not eligible for the AL Rookie Year. But by the end of the year, he will be eligible for the Rookie of the Year. So, two-part question. You have to have at least 130 at-bats in the big leagues to be considered a chance for the Rookie of the Year. Right now, Brett Lawrie is under that number, and he'll get it. Does he have a chance to win Rookie of the Year? I don't think so, because of the other players like Eric Hosmer, Michael Pineda, players that have been here a little bit longer.
Yeah, there are quite a few rookies in the American League that are doing well and playing longer. Dustin Ackley of the Seattle Mariners, the second baseman, has come up and done a great job. Mark Trumbo of the Angels has the big power numbers.
How about J.P. Arencibia?
J.P. Arencibia will get a lot of votes for Rookie of the Year in a big power season. But Brett Lawrie, and as far as possibly for next year, Lawrie will not be eligible, as he will play in too many games and get too many at-bats. But it's been a very good start to his young career, and a very good restart to another player's career for Dustin McGowan. Jared Saltalamacchia way outside.
You know, the Blue Jays, and I'm not suggesting that they do this, you know, if they would pull Brett Lawrie and set him down now, he would be eligible for Rookie of the Year next year. But you got to look at the big picture. This is about developing players at the big league level. And, you know, to do that just to try and win an award, that's not the right way to develop players.
Now, it has happened in the past, but it's not going to happen with the Blue Jays. They want Brett Lawrie to finish out the season. Remember, he broke his hand and missed about 2 months of the season, so he needs the at-bats just to build some momentum carrying into the offseason. 3-2. Cut on and missed. McGowan strikes out Saltalamacchia. That's his 4th strikeout.
free and easy as the ball comes out of his hand, and he's got good movement on that fastball. Turns it over just a little bit to get a little sink on it, and comes away with the strikeout.
Darnell McDonald late on a fastball. Oh, and 2. Dustin McGowan has thrown 50 pitches tonight. You look at his line. 3 1/3, 4 hits, a couple earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Probably can throw 75 pitches.
Might be able to finish up this ball game depending on what he does here the rest of this inning. You know, you said it when he first came in. The last thing to come for an injured pitcher is his location. And what I'm watching here tonight looks pretty good. I mean, if he doesn't have the good feel yet, this might be something special if he does have it.
Yeah, it'll take a while, and the velocity is the first thing back. You'll get velocity, then you'll get stamina, and then you'll get the break on your breaking pitches. And the final piece to the puzzle will be the touch and feel, to locate, to change speeds. And that just takes repetition. 2 and 2 to McDonald. Excuse me, check swing. Tien goes to the bag, 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. 2 outs, top of the 8th. Josh Reddick fouls the ball back. Reddick batting for the first time since coming into the game. Played in last night's game, went 2 for 5 with a single and a double. I tell you what, McGowan looks good, doesn't he? Yes. He does not look like he's tentative. He's not holding back on anything. He's got a great delivery working. And there's life on his fastball. You can see the 2-seam movement and the extra finish on his fastball.
You don't want to worry about miles per hour, but it's nice to peek up there to see the 95s and the 96 that he's registering on that scoreboard. But you're right. He's free and easy, not letting back anything, which is always a good sign, especially on that changeup. He's got good life on that changeup. He's throwing it to strikes to the left-handers.
That ball is drilled toward right field and off the top of the fence and gone. Josh Reddick sat back on a breaking pitch with 2 strikes, and it's his 7th home run of the season.
Reddick's going to be a good hitter. And a 4-hit game, and now breaking ball down. He's able to get to this. It's a short swing from a left-hander. When you see that breaking ball down like that, just drop the barrel of the bat on the ball and good things are going to happen. Good thing for a fan there as he gets the home run balls. It rolls up to the first row. Reddick with his 7th home run.
Mike Aviles bats for the first time.
Red Sox have tied their season high in hits for a 9-inning game.
May 25th against the Cleveland Indians. In Cleveland, they had 20 hits. Their season high for runs came against the Blue Jays right here at Rogers Center back in June. They scored 16. This is the most hits the Blue Jays have allowed this season. The previous high was 18. to the Cleveland Indians. 2-2 on Aviles. Good fastball upstairs, and McGowan strikes out his 5th of the night. Now it's time for a connected update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Pitching for the Red Sox, right-handed number 70, Kyle Weiland. Defensive replacement for the Red Sox, now catching number 60, Ryan.
Here tonight at Rogers Center, 7 innings, 3 hits. He didn't allow a run. He walked one and struck out a season-high tying 11, and it took him just 100 pitches.
Had a good cutter, good breaking ball, good fastball. He was down in the zone. He kept it on the corners to register those 11 strikeouts. No earned runs, just 3 hits given up in 7 innings, in line for his 15th win of the season.
Kyle Weiland comes in to make his 3rd appearance. He pitched in AAA most of the season. He is made 2 starts for the Red Sox. Weiland will turn 25 years old on September 12th. That's Ryan Lavarnway, new catcher into the ball game. Both of Weiland's starts have come against Baltimore back in July. Mike McCoy. 1 out. John Lester was too much, and the Red Sox hitters put up 14 runs on 20 hits. Dustin McGowan has been the one bright spot for the Blue Jays, making his first appearance in the big league since 2008.
And still on the bench with his arm wrapped in that towel. That tells us that he's going to be back out to throw the top of the 9th inning. What a good sign that is, and what he has been able to do here tonight.
Yunel Escobar's had 2 hits in 3 at-bats in his return to the lineup. He missed the previous 2 games with a wrist injury. Well, he'd love to finish up strong in the month of September and get up over 300. Bouncing ball. Scudero comes after it, throws on the run. Just in time to get Escobar.
He's on his way to 300. He had a great road trip for the Blue Jays. Escobar, before that wrist injury, set him back in New York. He had a 4-hit game in Baltimore. He had 2 4-hit games in Baltimore, back-to-back. In fact, another multi-hit game here tonight.
Had 9 hits in the Baltimore series over the 3 games, and then was injured in Game 2 in New York. Now that young fella's having a good time no matter what the score is. This is Game 2 of a 4-game series. Blue Jays won quite a contrast in styles last night, 1-0 in 11. Tim Wakefield will go for career win number 200 tomorrow night. He'll be matched up against Brandon Morrow. And then the finale on Thursday night, a couple of left-handers. Andrew Miller goes up against Ricky Romero. Tim Wakefield, boy, what a career he's had with the Red Sox. Started out with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but he has been Mr. Red Sox for a while. Wow, that rocked the umpire. Tim Timmons took a shot on the mask.
Got the ricochet right here. It's an inside fastball to Thames. And that zeroed in right in the face mask. That'll rock your world a little bit.
Just sitting back here having a good night, and then you got to hit one right off my mask. And Timmons still checking to see if that mask is intact. Full count, 2 outs. Shot to center. McDonald is right there. Thames is retired. A 1-2-3 8th inning. It's all Red Sox here tonight. Now it's time for a connected preview. Here's Brad Fay. Back out to start the 9th inning.
They want to push him up to 70, 75 pitches. He starts this inning with 62 tonight.
It'll be interesting to see how the Blue Jays finish the month with McGowan after this outing tonight. Initially, it was thought that he would just work in the bullpen and finish out the month. I wonder if that might change with the way he's thrown tonight.
So you're saying maybe in 5 days we might see him start?
Well, obviously you see Joel Carreño throwing down in the bullpen, but a lot depends on how McGowan feels tomorrow and how he throws his side session and when he bounces back. But it's been a good first impression.
Yeah, certainly has. You know what else? if the Blue Jays choose, as the month finishes out, the season finishes out, then they've got some pitchers who are getting close to the innings max, the maximum type of innings that they have this year. Here's a guy that can come in and finish off the game.
Yeah, he can piggyback with a starter. We mentioned Morrow goes tomorrow. Romero goes on Thursday.
I'm sure Henderson Alvarez is getting close to his maximum innings. Threw a lot in Double-A this year, and they've seen what he can do. And that's an arm that you don't want to overuse at just 21 years old. So they might have him start games, but if they want to reduce his innings, they might let him go 3 innings, and then they've got McGowan to back him up.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how they handle all those different pitchers. Chet Lowry takes a walk in his first at bat of the night. Henderson Alvarez has thrown 36 2/3 innings in the big leagues this year, and he's thrown 96 1/3 in the minors. So that's 123 innings. Probably in pretty good shape. Euclid pops it up. Mark Tian goes over, but it's out of play. 2010. Alvarez threw 112 innings in Dunedin, made 21 starts. He threw 124 innings in 2009, so he's probably okay.
How many more starts does he have left?
This is the 6th of September. We've got 3 more weeks. He's probably got 3 starts.
It's going to get close.
Yeah, a bit close. They like to keep it to 20% increase. That'd be another 24 innings. Makes 3 starts, goes 7 innings. You're right there.
35, you're right there.
Dustin McGowan has now thrown 70 pitches, and that's about where they wanted him over his outing. Euclid takes one down and away. It's 1-2. So John Fair, will be interesting to hear his thoughts after the game about Dustin McGowan. Euclid lays off that hard breaking ball. That's 91 miles an hour and a late breaking slider.
And it started on the plate and then broke off the plate. I mean, that's exactly what you're looking for when you're going for a strikeout. Euclid, though, is so good at taking pitches. And now works the count to 3-2.
I wouldn't be surprised if this were the last batter for McGowan. And he walks him. And here comes John Farrell, and he does call for the bullpen. But the first outing for Dustin McGowan back in the big leagues was a good one. He threw the ball well, threw all of his pitches, had good movement on his fastball. And you can bet he's satisfied.
Got run down at the end there, a couple of walks, and John Farrell's got a message for him before he leaves. Very proud of him.
Good job for Dustin McGowan and his return to the big leagues. When we come back, Joel Carreño will take over. on Rogers On Demand.
Well, it can only be this. When you're down 13-0, Dustin McGowan comes out after 3 years working his way back to the big leagues. He comes out, the fans give him a standing ovation, and he looked good. He worked 4+ innings, looked free and easy on the mound. Watch this. Change up, he gets his first strikeout in 3 years. And that handshakes all around as his night is finished. Welcome back to the big leagues, Dustin McGowan.
34 pitches, he threw 44 strikes. Excuse me. He threw 74 pitches. He threw 30 balls and 44 strikes, and it was a good outing. 4 innings plus 2 batters. And the velocity was good. The life on his pitches was good. He threw all his pitches. Has to be a very satisfying moment for Dustin McGowan.
Wore down just a little bit there. You can see he was laboring there that last inning as he picks up a couple of walks. So those runners on board are his responsibility. As Joel Carreño tries to finish this one off.
Carreño making his 6th appearance of the season. He's worked just 8 innings.
Carreño was a starter in the minor league this year. He spent most of the year in Double-A. Made 23 starts for New Hampshire.
Ball on the strike. Breaking ball just off the outside corner. David Ortiz has had a big night. 4 hits in 5 trips to the plate. He's never had a 5-hit game in his career. Bumped his average up to 319. He's raised it 6 points here tonight.
He is coming off a super hot homestand for the Red Sox. On that homestand that you were just talking about earlier, David Ortiz went 15 for 31. Batting average over 300 for Big Papi.
Three and two. Alex Anthopoulos must be very pleased to see Dustin McGowan back in the big leagues. And boy, oh boy, if he could continue to stay healthy and give the Blue Jays another option in the starting rotation for next year, that almost like signing a free agent.
Yeah, and finding someone who just comes out of nowhere.
Slider gets Ortiz. That's the first out of the inning.
Carreño has shown that he's not afraid to throw a slider when he is behind in the count. He does adhere to Ortiz to pick up the strikeout. 3-2 breaking ball. He'll throw it a lot.
Marco Scutaro has had 4 hits tonight. He's never had a 5-hit game. Lines it into center. Wise is there. 2 outs. Carreño gets the first 2 since coming into the game.
One thing that we have noticed with these young pitchers who have come up out of the minor leagues this year, none of them look intimidated or scared. You know, they have a job to do. They have their game face on. They have an idea of what they want to do, and they go out there and they perform.
Nate Spears, his second at bat of the night, takes a strike. Spears spent 9 seasons in the minor leagues. Oh, and 2. John Farrell.
He knows what it's like when you are out of the game, when you're on the disabled list with a sore arm, and what it takes to get back to the big leagues, and how you have to persevere and work hard. I think he can really relate what Dustin McGowan has gone through.
Strike 3 call. Carreño picks up a couple of strikeouts. He comes out of the bullpen in the ninth with 2 on and saves a couple of runs for Dustin McGowan. Padres on Western Pacific right after this ball game. Beautiful shot of the CN Tower high above Rogers Center. And it has been a tough night for the Blue Jays. They've given up 14 runs on 20 hits. Wayne Wise, his first at bat. Kyle Whelan in his second inning of work. He had a 1-2-3 eighth inning. Hit on the ground. Scudero has it. 1 out. Dustin McGowan came into the ball game in the 5th inning, and he went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 5, threw 74 pitches, and I think everything overall was a real positive outing for Dustin McGowan.
Yeah, it certainly was. A couple of those hits were to the left-handers. Remember, they had the shift on. He made good pitches, and they were ground balls that would have been outs to the third baseman if they went into the outfield. Gave up 3 hits in that first inning that he worked and then settled down. Gave up the home run, 2 strikes to Reddick, a couple of walks. He ran out of gas there in the last part, but you're right. Positive, I think, all the way around.
Mark Teahan, in his first at bat of the night, came on defensively at first base in the 7th inning. No swing, says Mark Carlson down at third.
Weiland's showing a good curveball. He's trying to make a team here, open up some of the eyes of the brass for the Boston Red Sox. He was a 3rd-round pick just in 2008, just a few years ago by the Red Sox.
Base hit for Mark Teahan. Mike Aviles dove for it, but it was past him into center. Edwin Encarnacion 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. John Lester, the starter, struck out a season-tying high 11 strikeouts tonight.
Red Sox pitchers last night had 15 strikeouts in the game.
That's a fair ball. Jed Lowry goes to the bag. Encarnacion is retired. There are 2 outs. Tien goes to second. Chris Woodward will bat for a second time tonight.
Gonna have to forget about this one.
Yes.
Very quickly. And start preparing for tomorrow. They're going to get a taste of something that they haven't seen in a while. A knuckleball pitcher. As Tim Wakefield starts for Boston tomorrow.
Tim Wakefield, Eric Bedard discussing matters. Bedard's turn in the rotation will be skipped as he's battling a sore knee. Brandon Morrow will go to the mound to oppose Tim Wakefield tomorrow. Ricky Romero will start on Thursday. This is popped up, and this will do it. Darnell McDonald makes the catch, and the Red Sox win it 14-0. John Lester with the win. And the hitters ruled tonight. They tied a season high with 20 hits tonight. David Ortiz had 4 hits, as did Marco Scutaro. And they got off to a 4-run first inning and never slowed down. Dustin McGowan made his return a memorable one. First time he's pitched in the big league since July of 2008. Next on Sportsnet Connected, Eastern Ontario, more baseball. San Francisco in San Diego to take on the Padres. That'll be West End Pacific. We'll be right back here tomorrow night in Game 3 of a 4-game series. Dustin McGowan must be pleased with a good outing here tonight.